I think the greatest strength we have is solidarity, the three communities working as one.
Even though they've managed to keep the Saviors at bay, and so many of them are still alive, there is a bit of a sense of defeat.
The biggest problem with our group is they let their emotions interfere with the plan. Their judgment gets clouded.
You don't want to do this.
I have.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing the new promo trailer for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8. AMC has released a trailer called A Look Back at Season 8B, which features main actors and crew of The Walking Dead, along with some brand new clips from the rest of the season. With that being said, major warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to Season 8 Episode 8, and let's jump right into this. Alright, so a bunch of clips are similar, if not the same as before, but I did want to focus on quite a few new interesting clips that we've been given as well.
Ultimately, the fallout from the loss makes people do different things.
I think the biggest weakness is the people we are both forced to and decide to trust, and that's going to be tested.
When you're fighting this war, you're driven so much by rage, and it's hard to let that rage carry you as long as it needs to carry you.
Each person feels different about what this battle has meant to them.
Now, in the sewers, it looks like Michonne is tackling Dwight against a wall, most likely out of anger, but why? Well, I've said this before, but Michonne is most likely anxious to get Carl above ground, somewhere peaceful, and spend his final moments instead of in a gross sewer, and Dwight is just telling them to stay put for safety reasons, right? Because Negan and the Saviors don't know where they are, and they're looking for them. It seems like Dwight is being quite the punching bag for the Alexandrians this season, but he is standing tall and sticking to his word, which I do respect. Also, we don't really get any context or information about them, but we briefly see Aaron and Enid. It looks like they're in the Oceanside community in one of the buildings, maybe possibly waiting to speak with someone. I'm not too sure.
All of us together will be their worst damn nightmare.
Their biggest strength is their tenacity.
We can take them one by one.
And their determination to win.
We have to do this now.
We can see someone dragging a stick in sand, and I assume it's Morgan. We can also see what looks like Rick sitting down in the sewers with someone approaching him. I assume that this is possibly Daryl, as another clip implies that he walks up to Rick to say goodbye and part ways. We can see Daryl pat Rick on the shoulder a few times and then walk away towards the Alexandrians, Scott and Tobin. This is because as Daryl leads the main group of Alexandrians to the hilltop, Rick and Michonne are apparently going back to the junkyard to find Jadis and her group. Next up, we get more clips of Carl, and I wanted to talk about both at the same time, starting with the shot of him writing his goodbye letters. We've already gotten 2 promo images released showing Carl writing his letters, and now we have more scenes teasing it. We also see Carl looking at himself in the mirror as he takes off his jacket, and we can see the blood stain of his bite on his torso, and I assume that this is a flashback to when he just got home. At first I thought that we'd maybe get a flashback of Carl writing the letter as Rick reads it or something, but now is it confirmed that we'll be getting a full flashback, like multiple scenes of Carl arriving at Alexandria and hiding the bite from everyone? It would be kind of cool to see everything again, but from his perspective now that we know that he's been bitten, and if so, I assume that this will happen during the beginning of episode 809. Next up, I wanted to discuss the clip of what looks like someone sliding a gun towards King Ezekiel. In previous trailers, it was revealed that Morgan and Carol attack Gavin's group in Ezekiel's throne room, resulting in Ezekiel diving between a few rows of chairs. In this new clip, we can see someone sliding him a pistol on the ground, and he stares at it from under a chair. So will Ezekiel seize this opportunity to gain an advantage on the situation? Another clip shows Gavin holding Ezekiel at gunpoint with Ezekiel on his knees, and then a group of saviors stand up from behind the row of chairs. So what is the context here? Is this after Carol and Morgan started attacking, or beforehand? Now when they attack Gavin's group, we can see them actually blow open the doors on the other side of the room. I assume that this was like a timed explosion somehow to act as a distraction, and that maybe what the saviors standing up are staring at. This would actually be a pretty smart plan, because if Carol and Morgan leap out from behind the stage, these saviors would have their backs turned to them. Anyways, I think we might actually have confirmation here that Morgan and Carol get Ezekiel to safety. We see a clip of the three of them outside at the kingdom during what I assume is the same night that they're trying to save Ezekiel, and it looks like they've just won and finished fighting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Carol is telling Morgan, "You don't want to do this," but he says that, "I have to." So what is Morgan talking about? Will this emotional decision lead to his departure from the main show as he crosses over into Fear the Walking Dead? It looks like this may be directly after Morgan goes on a crazy killing spree, which is probably crushing his soul and breaking him down. Now I was actually starting to get worried about Ezekiel here, since we were previously revealed clips of Morgan and Carol at the hilltop, but no Ezekiel. But considering that Ezekiel is safe with the two of them in this clip where Morgan is getting all emotional, I assume that they get him back to safety. I was originally worried that Gavin was actually going to get Ezekiel back to Negan, and that they'd give him a completely different fate than his comic book counterpart, but now I feel a bit more confident in believing that Ezekiel will make it back to the hilltop safely for the last stand to end all that war. But what do you guys think?
They're in no way willing to back down, but they're recognizing by the time it's over, they may lose a lot more than they anticipated.
When we reveal Carl is bitten, that really is a defining moment that redirects Rick.
Next up, I wanted to discuss a swarm of zombies surrounding Michonne. We actually briefly saw this in a previous 809 trailer, but here we can actually see her fight off zombies for longer as Rick yells her name, calling her over. I don't understand what really is going on here. Is Michonne just taking her anger out on these zombies, or did she actually unintentionally get surrounded? It looks like she is standing her ground and making a final stand, but why doesn't she just run away towards Rick? Hopefully she does end up doing that, because the last thing we need is for Rick to get a double whammy and lose even more of his family. Oh, and there are a bunch of really awesome and important clips in this trailer that focuses on flashbacks we'll be seeing of Morgan escaping his sniper lookout perch and actually making his way to the kingdom. I'll be making an entire video on this in the future, probably directly after this honestly, so be sure to look out for it. It was a huge question I had after watching episode 808, the mid-season finale, and I'm glad that we're actually getting an answer to it. But finally, I wanted to discuss a quick glimpse at Negan with Lucille, which is covered with zombie blood and guts. He's smiling at Lucille and chuckling to himself as he's probably having a fun time putting on a show for the crowd of saviors watching. For those of you who have seen the other trailers, he's standing in front of a fence at the sanctuary with zombies chained up to it. We've even seen many different angles of it in all the other promo trailers for episode 809 and season 8B in general, and it's a moment straight out of the comics. Negan is using walker guts to poison savior weapons. At the end of the 4th promo trailer, you can actually see Negan swing Lucille at a zombie's face. This is him coding Lucille as an example of his idea. I have an entire video discussing it up on my channel if you want to know more about Negan coding weapons with zombie guts, but that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead Season 8 content in the near future. And if you'd like to take that extra step in helping support my videos, consider checking out my Patreon, where there's a bunch of different rewards involving the channel, such as a chance to directly influence the videos being produced. It isn't necessary by any means, but it could really help in the long run. And as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
They want to survive. They want to set themselves up to build a community where life can go on. That's the plan.